So you guys want to know about Google Gemini, huh? Well, that's what we're diving into today.
Diving right in.
Yeah, a deep dive. We really want to give you the rundown on exactly how to use it, what are the main things it can do, and, how to even just get started. I mean, I know just from what you guys have told us, there are a lot of ways to get into this thing.
Yeah.
It's not like a single app. It's kind of like spread out all over the place.
Yeah, it seems like they want it to just be part of your, everyday digital life, Like if you're on your computer, on your phone, or even just in your browser, you can find a way to use it. It's interesting.
It really is. So let's start with that. Like, how do we get in? One of the most obvious ways, I think, for a lot of people is going to be through the website.
Right.
And it seems pretty simple, actually. Go to gemini.google.com, and apparently it works on pretty much any web browser. Chrome, Safari, Firefox, Opera, even Edgeium.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and then to sign in, you just use your regular Google account.
Yeah.
Or if you've got like a workspace account or like a school account, if the administrators turned it on, you can use that too.
Right, so there's that little caveat there.
Yeah, and I think there are some age restrictions too.
Yeah, makes sense.
So now if you're on an Android phone, though, it looks like you've got a couple of other options. There's, of course, the Google Gemini app, which you can just get straight from the Play Store.
Yep, easy.
But even if you don't want to download a whole other app, it looks like you can use Gemini right from the regular Google app that's already on your phone.
Oh, cool.
So tap on your profile picture, go to Settings, Google Assistant, then Digital Assistants from Google, and then finally you pick Gemini.
Wow, buried in there.
It is a little bit buried, but once you find it, it's pretty straightforward.
Yeah, it's kind of nice that it's all in one place, If you're used to using the Google app already.
Right.
It makes things a little easier.
It does. And there's actually one more really quick way to get right into a Gemini chat.
Oh, tell me.
If you are using the Chrome browser, just type in the address bar at Gemini.
At Gemini.
And you'll see a suggestion to chat with Gemini. You just click that and boom, you're ready to go.
Wow, that's pretty cool.
Isn't it?
So you can just jump right in.
Yeah. Though I wonder if that always works or that it depends on what version of Chrome you've got or something. I wonder how reliable that really is.
Yeah, I'm sure they try to make it consistent, but you never know. Sometimes an update or an extension can mess with things.
True enough. So let's say we've made it in, however we got there. How do we actually, talk to this thing? How do we start a conversation?
Right.
It looks like, basically, if you're in the app or on the website, you'll have a text box somewhere on the screen, and you just type in what you want to know about or what you want to do, and you hit enter. Pretty standard, like any other chat app.
Yeah, like you say, pretty familiar.
Yeah, but if you don't feel like typing or maybe you're driving or something, you can also just tap the microphone icon and talk to it. And it'll even, turn what you say into text for you.
Oh, that's really useful. The voice recognition these days is so good.
It's incredible.
Really impressive.
Now, let's say you open up that chat and you're kind of drawing a blank.
Happens to the best of us.
It does. It looks like sometimes Gemini will actually give you some examples of things you could ask or do just to kind of get you started.
Oh, nice.
Which is pretty helpful.
Yeah. Yeah, that's nice of them, especially if you're new to it, Helps you get a feel for what it can actually do.
So you've typed in your question, or maybe you've spoken it in, and Gemini gives you an answer.
Okay.
What happens then?
Well, what then?
Well, you can keep the conversation going. You can ask follow-up questions. And one thing that the sources really emphasize is that Gemini remembers what you've already said. So it's not like you have to start from scratch every time.
That's good.
Yeah, it can actually build on what you've already talked about. Makes it feel a little more natural, I think.
It does, like you're having an actual conversation, not just throwing random questions at a machine.
Exactly. Now, if the first answer isn't quite right, you can actually ask Gemini to tweak it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can ask it to make it shorter or longer, maybe make it sound more professional, maybe more casual, whatever you need.
So it's like having an editor built right in.
Exactly. And then, of course, there's the thumbs up and the thumbs down.
Ah, yes. Classic feedback.
So you can tell Gemini if it's doing a good job or not, and apparently that actually helps them improve the system over time.
Oh, interesting. So your feedback's actually going somewhere.
It is. It's helping them train it better.
That's cool.
And if you'd rather just listen to the answer instead of reading it, there's usually a listen button. It might look like 3 little dots. And if you tap that, Gemini will actually read the response out loud to you.
It's a nice accessibility feature.
It is. Really useful if you're multitasking or, like I said, driving.
Yeah, for sure.
So we've gotten into Gemini, we've chatted with it, we've told it if we liked what it had to say.
Yeah.
And now let's talk about some of the cooler stuff it can do, some of the more advanced features.
Right, because it's not just a basic chatbot, is it?
It's not. There's a lot more to it. So in the Android app, if you look for a little plus icon, that seems to be where a lot of the good stuff is hiding.
Okay.
One thing you can do is add files like pictures or PDFs, especially if you're using the Files by Google or Samsung Notes apps. And then you can actually talk to Gemini about those files.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So, like, you could ask a question about something specific in a PDF or have it analyze a photo.
It's called Gemini Live. It's pretty cool.
Very cool.
And speaking of Gemini Live, there's a separate icon for that too. It looks like a little star above 3 bars.
Okay.
And if you tap that, you can have like a back and forth conversation with Gemini using your voice, almost like you're talking to, a virtual assistant.
Like you're really chatting with it.
Yeah. And you can even turn on your camera so Gemini can actually see what you're looking at.
Wow, that's really taking it to the next level.
Isn't it? Like, imagine pointing your camera at something and asking Gemini, like, what is this? Or how do I fix this?
That would be so helpful.
That plus button on the Android app also gives you access to something called deep research.
Deep research, huh?
Yeah. It sounds like it's for when you need more than just a quick answer. Like when you really want Gemini to dig into a topic.
Interesting. I wonder how that's different from a regular search.
I'm guessing it's using a lot more information and maybe some fancier algorithms to, find connections and different perspectives that you wouldn't normally see.
That could be really powerful, especially if you're doing, like, serious research on something.
Okay, now if you switch over to the web app, and you might have some of this on Android too, there's a feature called Canvas. Yeah, and again, you find it through that plus icon. And this one seems to be all about visuals. You can create images and text.
Oh, so it's getting creative.
It really is.
Yeah.
I think it's great because you can start with an idea, put it into words, and then have Gemini turn it into a picture and go back and forth like that.
Yeah, like a brainstorming tool almost.
Totally. So let's say you've done some research or had a great conversation with Gemini. What do you do with all that info?
Right.
Well, there's a share button that lets you create a link to your conversation that you could share with other people. You can also send things straight to Gmail or Google Docs.
That's really convenient.
Very convenient. And in some cases, you can even send data right into Google Sheets.
Oh, wow, for like analysis and stuff.
Exactly.
That makes it so easy to use what you found,
Yeah.
Because it's already in the tools you use.
Yep, no more copying and pasting.
Right.
One other really cool thing that you might see with some responses is a Google button.
Oh, what's that do?
If you click that, you can actually fact check what Gemini just told you.
Oh, that's smart.
Yeah, because sometimes these AI systems, they make stuff up.
Right.
So it's good to have a way to double check things.
Absolutely. Very important. Especially with all the, misinformation going around these days.
And one last thing in terms of features, you can actually edit the things you've already asked Gemini.
Oh, really?
Yeah, if you look for a little pencil icon next to your message, you can change it. And then Gemini will give you a new answer based on the updated question.
So you don't have to, start a whole new conversation.
Nope. Saves a lot of time.
That's very useful.
So we've talked about how to get into Gemini, how to chat with it, how to work with its answers, and some of the cool stuff it could do. Now, let's take a quick look at the settings.
All right, because you got to be able to personalize things a little bit.
Exactly. So on the Android app, you can actually change Gemini's voice.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, so when it reads something out loud to you, you can choose a voice that you like.
That's a nice touch. Makes it feel a little more, personalized.
It does. Now, if you want to be able to use Gemini Live, even when you're not actively using the app, or even if your phone's locked, you'll need to turn on Live with Gemini notifications.
Right.
You can do that in your phone settings.
So it can keep running in the background.
Exactly. Then there's a setting called Screen Context.
Screen context.
Yeah, if you turn that on, it basically lets Gemini see what's on your screen.
Oh, so it can give you more specific help depending on what you're doing?
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
Like if you're reading an article, you could ask Gemini about it without even having to tell it what you're reading.
That's pretty wild.
It is pretty cool, but it's definitely something to be aware of, in terms of privacy.
For sure. You got to be comfortable with that.
And lastly, you can control whether Gemini can access your location,
Right.
which again, you can change in your phone settings.
Like with any app.
Exactly. So before we finish up, there's one really important thing to remember.
Uh-oh. What's that?
Gemini's not done evolving.
Ah, it's still learning.
It is. So all the stuff we've talked about today, the features, even the way it looks, it's all going to keep changing.
Makes sense. Things are moving so fast with AI these days.
They really are. So how do we keep up?
Right. How do we make sure we're getting the latest info?
Well, the best thing to do is to check Google's official help pages and support sites.
Yeah, that makes sense. Go right to the source.
Yep, that's where you'll find the most up-to-date info. So that was our deep dive into Google Gemini. We talked about how to get started, how to use it, and even how to tweak it to your liking.
A lot to take in, but hopefully really helpful.
So now it's your turn. Go check out Gemini, see what it can do, try out some of the different features. Maybe start with the website, or if you're on Android, try the app. See what works for you.
Yeah, play around with it, see what you think. Use your voice, type, even show it stuff with your camera.
And that leads us to our final thought. We are living in a crazy time, right? With all this AI stuff happening.
It's incredible.
And tools like Gemini are going to become a bigger and bigger part of our lives. It's not just about getting answers anymore. It's about learning new things, being more creative, and yeah, even being more productive. So think about this. What feature of Gemini from everything we talked about are you most excited about? How do you think you'll use it? And how could it change the way you do things, whether it's for work, for fun, or just for learning? It's a really exciting time to explore all this new technology, so go have fun with it.
And who knows what'll be possible next year or even next month.
Exactly. The future is coming fast.
It really is.